Hare Krishna, will begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimrandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Haripriye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are continuing our discussion from Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5. Lord Rishabdev instructs his sons in this chapter, and I think we completed till verse number 29 or something. Which verse?
I think up to 30 or done.
30. Okay.
No, up to 29 we have done. From 30
29, 30 will start. Yes. Okay, in this chapter we heard Lord Rishabdev gave wonderful instructions to his sons, and then, like ideal Raja Rishi, he renounced his world, renounced his kingdom. Just like Jaho Yuvaiva Malvat Uttama Shloka Lalasa, it was described about Bharat Maharaj. Rishabdev also, he renounced the world in the same way. He adopted a path of Jada Yoga. He behaved as if he's a dull man, blind, dull, deaf, idle stone, a person who is haunted by the ghost. Prabhupada writes in 29th verse, the word avadhut refers to one who does not care for social conventions, particularly the varnashram. However, such a person may be fully situated within himself and be satisfied with the Lord. In other words, one who has surpassed the rules and regulations of varnashram dharma is called avadhuta. So this personality is not at all in clutches of material energy. So therefore, it doesn't have to follow the rules and regulations, the worldly rules and regulations. Wearing clothes and following the varnashram duties like washing himself and doing sandhya vandan, keeping himself clean. So he was beyond all this. Okay, translation, 30th verse.
Rishabdeva began to tour through cities, villages, mines, countrysides, valleys, gardens, military camps, cow pens, the homes of cowheadmen, transient hotels, hills, forests, and hermitages. Wherever he traveled, all bad elements surrounded him, just as flies surround the body of an elephant. Flies, just as flies surround the body of an elephant coming from a forest. He was always being threatened, beaten, urinated upon, and spat upon. Sometimes people threw stones, stool, and dust at him, and sometimes people passed foul air before him. Thus, people called him many bad names and gave him a great deal of trouble. But he did not care about this, for he understood that the body is simply meant for such an end. He was situated on the spiritual platform, and being in his spiritual glory, he did not care for all these material insults. In other words, he completely understood that matter and spirit are separate, and he had no bodily conception. Thus, without being angry at anyone, he walked through the whole world alone.
So that's how Rishabdev practically exhibited very, very inconceivable activities, bewildering people, and as a result, he attracted many bad, uh, many people who were behaving with him in a bad way. Naturally, if somebody finds somebody who is behaving like a madman or undressed, so people with low nature, they try to harm him or insult him. So that is what is happening. So Rishabdev is describing how he's showing the world how he's completely detached from whatever is happening with his body, because all the insults and all the praises, they are for the body. The soul is unaffected by anything of this material world. Prabhupada writes, Deha smriti nahi yaar, samsar bandhan kahan tar. So person is not concerned about the body. That means he is realized, he is liberated soul. So Rishabdev, as Prabhupada writes, as far as Rishabdev is concerned, it is already explained, idam shariram mama durvibhavyam. So Rishabdev didn't have a material body. So he was not affected by anything which was done by material people of this world. Whatever they were doing, he was just able to, tolerate, just like Padma Patra Ivam Bhasa, unaffected by any of this. Prabhupada writes, his body was transcendental and consequently did not at all suffer pain. He was always situated in bliss. Swamahima avasthanena, as the word here used is, Swamahima avasthanena. Here the word comes. He was Anubhava Swarupena Swamahima avasthanena. So he was completely always situated in his transcendental position. He was not affected by anything of this world. Bhukta bhoga parityakta drishta dosha cha nityasaha na ishwarasya shubham dhatte sway mahimani sthitasya cha. A soul who is situated in his mahima, that means his original constitutional position, is completely unaffected by anything. Sway mahimani sthita. He understands bhukta bhoga parityakta. He understands that all the things of this world, they give pain. So he gives up all of them. Drishta dosh, he sees the fault. What is a fault in sense gratification? It will lead to misery. So Rishabdev, why he is going through all these difficult things? Every avatar comes with a purpose. And Rishabdev's purpose is to show the world how one can be equipoised. As Krishna speaks so many verses in Bhagavad Gita, na prahishet priyam prapya, no dvijet prapya cha priyam, sthir buddhira sammudo brahmavid brahmani stitaha. So many places, tulya ninda supiramoni santushto yena kenachit. So Rishabdev has come to show how somebody can practice this in any situation of life. The same thing was happening to Avanti Brahman also. People were doing all similar things with him also. He also accepted everything. And what was his realization? Nayam janome sukha dukkha heto na devatatma na graha kala manaparam karanamananti samsara chakram anuvartayeta. So all this people of this world, they are not cause of my problems. Nayam janome na devata na graha na karma na kala. Who is then cause? Manaparam karanam. So if one is transcendental, his mind is not affected, he does not perceive the pain and pleasures of this world. So Rishabdev is showing that how, being in such consciousness, one can be free from entanglement of this world. He's teaching how to go back to the spiritual world. And that is more important than getting affected by the dualities of the world. Just like a person who is traveling in a local train, it is a common sight fighting in local train. But a person who understands that I have a greater purpose. I have to reach on time, otherwise I lose a very important deal. So if somebody gives bad words on the way, he'll not mind because he has a better purpose. He has a more important thing to do. So he'll just neglect all these lower things. So that is what is happening here. So Rishabdev is describing how one can be unaffected. It is as if somebody puts a fire in the house and is running away. So what will you do first? Will you catch the man who has put the fire, or will you just extinguish the fire first? Of course, we'll extinguish the fire first because that is more important. That is priority. Similarly, if somebody is giving bad words, that is not so important than achieving the purpose of life. So Rishabdev is teaching all these things through his activities. Okay. Next verse, translation.
Lord Rushabdeva's hands, feet, and chest were very long. His shoulders, face, and mm, limbs were all very delicate and symmetrically proportionate. His mouth was beautifully decorated with his natural smile, and he appeared all the more lovely with his reddish eyes, spread wide like the petals of a newly grown lotus flower, covered with dew in early morning. The iris of his eyes were so pleasing that they removed all the troubles of everyone who saw him. His forehead, ears, neck, nose, and all his other features were very beautiful. His gentle smile always made his face beautiful, so much so that he even attracted the hearts of a married woman. It was as though they had been pierced by arrows of Cupid. About his head was an abundance of curly, matted brown hair. His hair was disheveled because his body was dirty and not taken care of. He appeared as if he were haunted by a ghost.
Okay, so although he didn't take care of the body, but still he's a supreme lord, all attractive. So his beauty uh, uh, could not be not seen. Everybody was able to see. It was uncovered. Although it was covered by dirt, but still he was extremely beautiful. So that's what Prabhupada writes. His beauty and dirtiness combined to make his beautiful body appear as if it were haunted by ghost. He was beautiful, but he was dirty. So he was looking as if haunted by ghost. Okay, next verse. Translation.
When Lord Rishabdev saw that the general populace was very antagonistic to his execution of mystic yoga, he accepted the behavior of a python in order to counteract their opposition. Thus he stayed in one place and lay down. While lying down, he ate and drank, and he passed stool and urine and rolled in it. Indeed, he smeared his whole body with his own stool and urine so that opposing elements might not come and disturb him.
He is really doing some extraordinary activities which nobody would do ordinarily. Okay, Rishabdev saw that he was simply being disturbed by traveling throughout the world, so he decided to lie down in one place like a python. Next verse.
Because Lord Rushabdev remained in the condition, the public did not disturb him, but no bad aroma emanated from his stool and urine. Quite the contrary, his stool and urine were so aromatic that they filled 80 miles of the countryside with a pleasant fragrance.
Prabhupada would quote this example many times. He says, if somebody says he is God, let him pass stool and we'll see if it is pregnant or not. So that is how even Lord does something which is completely not according to the regular standards to prove that he is God and he can do all these things and he'll not be affected. That's why Krishna, why he did Ras Leela, to prove to the world that, okay, there are some things which I can do, but I'll not be affected by it. Tejiya samna doshaye. You should not find faults with powerful people. Prabhupada gives example of a cow dung. If a cow dung is so wonderful, full of qualities, it purifies the place, what to speak of the Lord's stool? If an ordinary animal of this world, his stool has such qualities, her stool has such qualities, why it is so astonishing to see, to hear this? He is Supreme Lord. Everything is Satchidananda. There is nothing material in his body. Okay. Next verse, translation.
Hare Krishna, Pancham. In this way, Lord Rishabdev followed the behavior of cows, deer, and crows. Sometimes he moved or walked, and sometimes he sat down in one place. Sometimes he lay down, behaving exactly like the cows, deer, and crows. In that way, he ate, drank, passed stool and urine, and treated the people in this way. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So he behaved like cow, deer, crows, not following any of the regular injunctions. But although he imitated all these animals, but still he was transcendental. Etad ishanam ishasya prakristhopi tadgunai na yujyate sadatmasthair yatha buddhi tadashraya. The Supreme Lord is not affected by anything he does. Prabhupada writes, Supreme Lord Rishabdev possessed a transcendental spiritual body. Since the general public could not appreciate his behavior and mystic yoga practice, they began to disturb him. To cheat them, he behaved like crows, cow, and deer. That means he behaved like a dull person. Next verse, translation.
O King Parikshit, just to show all the yogis the mystic process, Lord Rishabdev, the partial expansion of Lord Krishna, performed wonderful activities. Actually, he was the master of liberation and was fully absorbed in transcendental bliss, which increased 1,000-fold. Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, is the original source of Lord Rishabdev. There is no difference in their constitution, and consequently, Lord Rishabdev awakened the loving symptoms of crying, laughing, and shivering. He was always absorbed in transcendental love. Due to this, all mystic powers automatically approached him, such as the ability to travel in outer space at the speed of mind, to appear and disappear, to enter the bodies of others, and to see things far, far away. Although he could do all this, he didn't exercise these powers.
So this creates a doubt in the mind of Parikshit Maharaj. That Rishabdev was Supreme Lord and he's practicing this Jada Yoga. And of course, that Jada Yoga is external display. He is experiencing symptoms of ecstasy. He is practicing pure devotional service inside. Externals may be different, but Rishabdev, he is showing the world what is the result of pure devotional service. All the symptoms of ecstasy. Shved, Kampa, Romanch, Ashru, Gadgada, Vaivarne, Unmad, Vishad, Garva, Harsha, Dainya. So all these symptoms are manifesting. Evam vratasva priyanama kirtya jatanurago drutachitta uchchaiha satytharo datiroti gayan unmadavan nrityati lokabahya. Uchchay rodati sometimes cries loudly. Uchchay gayati sometimes sings loudly. Sometimes he behaves like a madman. So Rishabdev is doing all this. And naturally the Siddhis approached. But he did not exercise these powers. That means he did not accept these mystic siddhis. So in the purport, Prabhupada describes the various types of siddhis. Karmis, they want sense gratification. They want heaven. Jnanis, they want mukti. Yogis, they get siddhis. But devotee is not interested in any of this. Bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, sakaliya, shanta, Krishna bhakta, nishikama, ateva, shanta. Devotee is peaceful. There are many types of siddhis, but devotee is not at all interested. Although siddhis approach the devotees. Mukti approach the devotees. Mukti swayam mukulitanjali sevyate asman. Bilab Mangal Thakur says this. After I have developed ecstatic symptoms and feelings for the Lord, Mukti Devi stands in front of me with folded hands. Dharmartha kama gataya samaya pratiksha. Okay, so this is how this chapter ends. So this creates question in the mind of Parikshit Maharaj. 6th chapter is the activities of Lord Rishabdev. Translation, please.
King Parikshit
Sorry.
asked King Parikshit asked Sukadev Goswami, "My dear Lord, for those who are completely pure in heart, knowledge is attained by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, and attachment for the fruitive activities is completely burned to ashes. For such people, the powers of mystic yoga automatically arise. They do not cause distress. Why then did Rishabdev neglect them?"
So for self-satisfied souls, Atmaram, they have nothing to fear from this mystic siddhis. They're absorbed in Brahman. Then why? Why Rishabdev didn't welcome these siddhis? Because siddhis could have been used for good purposes. Why he rejected them? This is a very important question. Prabhupada writes, a pure devotee is constantly engaged in devotional service. Whatever is necessary for the discharge of devotional service is automatically obtained, though it may appear to be the result of mystic yoga power. Sometimes a yogi displays a little yogic power by manufacturing gold and captivates foolish people who think that he is God. Devotee is not interested in exhibiting the mystic powers to show that he is God. He doesn't want to become God. He wants to become servant of God. So therefore, Rishabdev, he just refused. Why he refused? Parikshit Maharaj asking this question. If by the grace of the Lord, a devotee achieves extraordinary opulence, he utilizes in service of the Lord. Why Rishabdev didn't accept it? Because our principle is Yukta Vairagya. Use everything in Krishna's service. But what is the problem? Why Rishabdev didn't accept? Because in the course of using everything in service of the Lord as Yukta Vairagya, if we are not so careful, Vairagya will go and Yukta will remain. We will enjoy things in the name of serving God. So Rishabdev, by his example, is showing how one should be extra careful. We should never be overconfident कि मैं तो कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. मैं तो pure devotee हो गया हूँ ना. No, a devotee is always careful, always alert, never trust the mind. Chakravarti Thakur writes, O Bhagavata, O Bhagavan, O great soul, for the Atmaram who have burnt up the seed of karma by knowledge, power should not be harmful. He was the Supreme Lord himself. Why he rejected? Parikshit Maharaj is really surprised. So Shukdev Goswami, he starts answering. Because one should not be disgusted by the things of this world. Because aversion is not conducive for devotional service. Anyone remembers where it has come? If somebody says, somebody has said, I'm really disgusted with this material nature.
Devahuti says that.
Devahuti, yes.
Royally cheated.
Royally cheated. Nirvinna nitaran bhuman asad indriya tarshanat I am cheated by my senses. I am disgusted. Vanchita Mayaya Dridham. I am solidly cheated by Maya. So, what was the problem? Because Rishabdev should not have rejected. Either you are too much disgusted or too much attached. They are both the sides of same coin. Raga and Dvesha. Devotee is neither Raga or Dvesha. So why Rishabdev rejected all these things? So devotee is not interested in showing mystic powers or magics. It's like one time PC Sarkar, famous Purana Zamane ka magician, he came to meet Prabhupada and he was showing all the different types of magics. Everybody was amazed, and to the extent that he came and he brought out a coin from the ear of Prabhupada. So everybody was clapping, all the devotees, the disciples were ekdam aisa awestruck. So after everything was done, Prabhupada said, "Can you stop birth, old age, disease and death by your magic?" He said, "No, Swamiji, that I cannot do." Prabhupada said, "I can do that. I will show you that magic." And then Prabhupada gave half an hour of class. So that's how devotee is not interested in all these magic spells or mystic siddhis. Although Prabhupada had displayed in some occasions, just like many times a few devotees would see that Prabhupada is walking on beach, but there are no footprints of Prabhupada. How is it that? One time there was one other devotee, Mataji. Every day she would see, before becoming devotee, she would see Prabhupada and devotees walking by on the morning walk. And she had her house nearby on the road. So from the first floor terrace, she would see. And she was expert, staring at people and attracting their attention. Sometimes it happens, we are looking at somebody and they turn to you. So that is the invisible, some subtle way. So she would do like this, and she was expert in that. So one time she saw Prabhupada walking. So she thought, I'll use my mystic things on this Swamiji. And she was staring, and Prabhupada was not looking up only. And then she was really getting frustrated. And then ultimately she kneeled down and said, "Please turn." And then Prabhupada turned. So then later she became attracted to, who is this personality? And then she became devotee. So pure devotees, they may have some mystic powers, but they don't use it because they understand that it is not worth it. Prabhupada writes that a devotee is never distressed or satisfied by material opulence. His concern is how to please the Supreme Lord. So that is the only interest of a devotee. How we can please. Otherwise, if we are not using our opulence in service of the Lord, then opulence will destroy us. How the devotee uses material opulence? He uses material opulence without being attached to it and seeing that all this is energy of the Lord. Vishnu Maya idam pashya saiva bhagavatottama. Vishnu Maya, he sees all this is the Vishnu Maya. We should not be averse to Maya. We should not be attached to Maya. But we should know how to use it in Krishna's service. All the while remaining very careful. We should not test ourselves कि चलो भाई देख के आते हैं लोग कितने पतित हो गए हैं दुनिया में and how I have elevated myself to the next level. How much I can handle the Maya देख के आते हैं. No, it is not like that. We should be very, very careful. Because ultimately Haridas Thakur didn't go to the prostitute to deliver her. Narad Muni took Kayadhu to his ashram. Kayadhu was a young lady. Narad Muni is a brahmachari. So he could do this. He's a liberated soul. If somebody says, मैं भी थोड़ा ऐसे try करता हूँ, it is a very risky proposal. So one should be very clear, very careful. Just like वो कबड्डी का game है ना, we should know till where I can go inside. If somebody is a very patla dubla and he thinks चलो सबको उठा के लेके आएंगे, then he'll be out. So they'll knock him down. So that's how, if we are not strong, just like Prabhupada was like that heavyweight champion. He could go out alone and say कबड्डी कबड्डी करके पूरा दुनिया को डिवोटी बना दिया. And if we think चलो हम भी प्रभुपाद की जय बोल के जाएंगे, so प्रभु जी कहाँ गए? प्रभु जी मिल नहीं रहे हैं आजकल. So that may happen. So we have to be really careful because the opulence, the siddhis, they are very attractive. If somebody thinks, I am such a big person, Prabhupada would tell a funny story. One time there was a frog and he got a coin. And he started thinking, wow, I have a coin with me. So he took the coin in his mouth, came in middle of the road, and he put the coin and sat on it. An elephant was coming. And elephant, as he's coming, he's not even seeing that frog. So this frog started shouting, hey, you have to stop. I am sitting here on my coin. This road belongs to me. I have this coin. Who are you? So elephant is not even able to understand what is he speaking. He turns around and passes stool. And this frog is in stool. And he goes ahead. So if somebody gets little popularity, little opulence, you may think, I am such a big person. Maya is very powerful. Vilajyamanaya yasya sthatum ikshapate amuya. She is standing behind. Only if we take shelter of Krishna, then we can overcome Maya. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So Rishabdev, he wanted to show how one should be careful. Okay, Shukdev Goswami now he replies. Yes.
Srila Sukadeva Goswami replied, my dear king, you have spoken correctly. However, after capturing animals, a cunning hunter does not put faith in them, for they might run away. Similarly, those who are advanced in spiritual life do not put faith in the mind. Indeed, they always remain vigilant and watch the mind's action.
One should never feel that I am so liberated now. How he can do anything? No, one should be really careful. Prabhupada was liberated soul, but still he showed by his example how one should be careful. One time Prabhupada was, Shrutakirti Prabhu was telling this. Some devotees had arranged drama. All young girls were there. There was drama performance going on, dance was going on. And Prabhupada was sitting watching this drama, and Shrutakirti Prabhu could see that Prabhupada is not watching them. He's not looking at them. He's looking down. So you are surprised at why Prabhupada is, what's the problem? Because Prabhupada is showing by his example that, okay, whoever you may be, but we should never think that you are beyond the modes. Of course, he is beyond the modes, but still he's showing his example that one should never trust the mind. The mind is really, really powerful. Srishta srishta srishteshu kon akhandita dhipuman rishim narayanam rite yoshin mayye hamayaya. Shukdev Goswami, Kapil Dev tells, in this world, nobody apart from Nar Narayan Rishi are immune to the attraction of opposite gender. We should be really careful. Mind should never be trusted. Mind is like a monkey which is drunk, bitten by a scorpion, and hunted by a ghost. That's how peaceful mind is. Markatasya surapanam madhye vrishchikadanshanam tanmadhye bhuta sancharo yadva tadva bhavishyati. Ye apna man, uncontrolled mind is like this. So one should never trust the mind. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Prabhupada, they gave little different translations to this purport. Prabhupada writes, after capturing animal, a cunning hunter does not put faith in them. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives little different meaning. He says, the mind at every moment takes on a new condition. So becoming pure, the mind immediately becomes impure. 1 second doesn't take mind to become impure. Abhi ekdam pure devotional thoughts. Next moment, pure materialistic thoughts may come. The degraded. So he says, Prabhupada writes that a cunning hunter does not put faith in the animal. Prabhupada gives a different meaning. He says, a cunning person, a degraded person, if he starts serving a nice, saintly man, first he will show friendship. Oh, I am such a wonderful person. I want to serve you. And then after he wins the trust, what happens? He kills the trusting person after robbing him. Similarly, you know what mind does? In the beginning, mind will show all the purity. Oh, I have become purified. अभी तो लगता है pure devotee बन ही गए हैं. No lust, no anger since last 1 day. No greed. After showing its purity with power, not to be influenced by lust and anger. 1 day, what happens? So now the sadhika will think, ठीक है, थोड़ा रिलैक्स हो जाते हैं, देखते हैं आजकल YouTube पे क्या चल रहा है, दुनिया कितनी पतित कैसे हो गई है. You give in and mind will devour the sadhaka. 1 day, the mind makes the sadhaka who has become lax in effort to fall down. Suddenly, lust and anger will arise. So one should be really, really careful. Though the low-born person studies dharma, shows good character, इतना अच्छा servant है मेरा, and I should tell him all the things, all my secrets, all the treasury where I have, hid. And then 1 day he only will steal everything and go away. That's our mind. Though one trusts the mind, which has become purified by sense control and mind control and become fixed on hearing and meditation, this is not just for a yogi, for a devotee also. हम लोग कोई अलग species नहीं है. For everybody, this principle matters same. It is about a yogi, but also about a devotee. So uncontrolled mind becomes absorbed in sinful object when given an opportunity and takes away the discriminating knowledge. That's how one should be really careful. Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhuji, you give us a perfect example, but you say we be careful. So when such mind is showing impurity, so to believe in that purity that mind is showing, or whether we are really become pure, definitely we know our situations, whether we really have poor thoughts or not. But definitely it needs, sometimes despite of knowing theory, practical becomes very difficult, So we get distracted or diverted. We've seen people distracted, diverted, everything. So till what stage it goes on, Prabhuji?
शक्नोति है यश्योडुम प्राक शरीर विमोक्षणात्. प्राक शरीर तक चलता रहेगा.
So what is the hope, Prabhuji, for us? Because this will go on.
होप क्या, हमको कुछ ज्यादा होप रखना नहीं है अपने प्रैक्टिस में. आपको भगवान में होप रखना है. Our practices will our practices are not so great. मतलब मैं अपने बारे में तो बोल सकता हूँ. It is all about the mercy which we are trying to achieve, trying to get. Because our own endeavors, they are very insignificant. By our own endeavors, we can't do much. Our endeavors are to attract mercy. So whatever we are doing, they are very negligible. It is like trying to blast a mountain by a Diwali का फटाका. दिवाली का सुतली बम लगाया, चलो भाई हम पहाड़ तोड़ेंगे. पहाड़ कैसे तोड़ेंगे? It needs thunderbolt. And thunderbolt means the mercy of the Lord. meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord when Lord gives mercy. So we should not be depressed, but we should be alert. We should not be, devotees, sometimes we become over result conscious. शुद्ध भक्त बनेंगे क्या, भगवत धाम जाएंगे क्या, अच्छा ये लाइफ में जाएंगे कि नहीं जाएंगे, अरे पापा क्यों इतना टेंशन ले रहे हैं? यू फोकस ऑन योर साधन भक्ति ना. यू फोकस, इज योर चैंटिंग गुड, इज योर स्टडी गुड? नहीं वो तो अभी सोचा नहीं, लेकिन भगवत धाम जाएंगे कि नहीं. So, we should be concerned about the practices rather than the goal. And the goal will come automatically. A devotee should not be so much concerned कि भाई मुक्ति मिलेगी कि नहीं मिलेगी, और भगवत धाम जाएंगे कि नहीं जाएंगे. It is not our job to think. Our job is think about मेरी chanting अच्छी हो रही. Am I putting my effort? That is important. When Krishna will purify, that only Krishna knows. But am I trying my best? Am I careful? Am I alert? So all these stories are to make us more alert. Never be distracted, lax. हाँ भाई ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस में ठीक है चलो भाई. वो मैं कितने बार वो जोक सुना है ना, ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस वाला. एक बार वो एक in a village, a person comes and he was teaching how to give a nice class, public speaking. And he said, you should begin by something which is very attractive. For example, you should begin by saying that best years of my life was spent in the arms of a woman who was not my wife. क्या बोल रहा है publicly? And then you should pause, and then you should say, and she was my mother. And public में क्या ताली बजाया, बोले वाह वाह क्या बोला है. So one person, he thought, अरे अच्छा है चलो याद कर लेता हूँ. He also memorized it, and then next time he got chance to speak, he went on stage. First time he was speaking, पूरा टेंशन में आ गया वो, stage fear. And then he said, चलो वो वाला लाइन बोलता हूँ. So he thought, he started, the best years of my life was spent in the arms of a woman who was not my wife. And in anxiety, he forgot the next line. And he's sweating. अब क्या करूँ क्या याद था अभी याद ही नहीं आ रहा है. And then he said, and I don't know who she was. तो अभी क्या बोले अभी, this is our overconfidence. So we should never feel कि यार मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ चलेगा, मैं कितना भी बड़ा हो. अरे ऋषभदेव भगवान खुद बोल रहे हैं, don't trust. So all these are warnings for us. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, Yajna dana tapa karma na tyajyam karyam tat yajna dana tapachaiva pavanani manishina. We should never be lazy कि भाई अभी भी तपस्या करना है क्या? नहीं, अभी तो 20 साल 30 साल हो गए भक्ति में. Now I can just give up the lower levels of practices. अभी क्या एकादशी मेरे को 4 बार की जगह 5 बार खा लेता हूँ लग रहा है. अभी कहाँ निर्जल होता है एकादशी, अभी तो बूढ़े हो गए हैं. Okay, we have to understand that ठीक है, if we can't do, we should be repentful. We should not be saying, justifying that abhi to ya aisa hai. Our mood should be, I want to do, but somehow my body is not supporting. Oh my Lord, what to do? But we should never give up all these things. Yajna, dan, tapa, karma, natyajyam karyam. They should never be given up. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, Shaligram Krishna, we have a question.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, same with the context what you were discussing. So you said like we should not worry whether we go back to Godhead or not. I totally agree. But is it okay to have a desire or not?
Desire तो होना ही चाहिए ना, तो उसके लिए तो कर रहे हैं. मतलब
Like
see,
because
at a higher level, na, devotee doesn't even desire this thing. Devotee desires seva.
Correct.
For a new devotee, it is good desire, I want to go back. But a mature devotee, he doesn't develop this desire also. It is not a bad desire. A new devotee should have this desire कि भाई मुझे भगवत धाम जाना है. But after practicing bhakti for a few decades, that level should come where a devotee should say, Bhagwan, maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tuhar. Abhi I want to serve you. Wherever you keep me, please keep me as your servant. Samanjasatva virhaya kangshe, just like Vritrasur said. I want service. Punascha bhuyad bhagavati anante rati prasanga chatadashreshu mahatsuyamyam upayami srishtim maitrasya sarvatra namodujebhya. Parikshit Maharaj saying, kahin pe bhi janam ho, I want Vaishnav Seva Nam Ruchi Jivadaya. So that is highest. Mama Janmani Janeshwari Bhavtat Bhakti Rahetu ki. Ashli Shiva Padaratam Pinashti. At one point of time, we should come to this level for sure. Otherwise, that is a desire. It may be material, it may be spiritual desire, but that is not a high level of spiritual desire. High level of highest is you keep me wherever you want. That is the pure highest desire. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, Shukdev Goswami continues. So that's how our mind is really, and we can discuss about this mind for hours. मतलब जितना माइंड को एनालाइज करेंगे उतना माइंड बोलता है और थोड़ा सोचते हैं मन के बारे में. Will so it is very interesting. In fifth canto it will come. There are three things one should do to control the mind. Shukdev Goswami will describe in some verses. Upeksha, Apramatta, Hare Guru Charana Upasana Astra. These are the three very powerful ways to control the mind. Neglect the mind. Be alert whenever the mind proposes something. First is alert. Okay, मेरा मन बोलना शुरू किया है. Then second, neglect it. Third, absorb it in higher things. Alert, neglect, and absorb. Hare Guru Charan Upasana Astra. This is a weapon. Absorption. So mind is like a naughty child. Mind cannot contemplate on consequences. We have to be careful. Otherwise, we'll suffer. One should observe the movements of the mind. Now my mind is getting distracted. Bring it back. As soon as we realize that mind is getting distracted, bring it back. Otherwise, mind will cheat. Mind can destroy all the anarthas. Mind can use all the anarthas to destroy us. An example is Ajamil, how he was destroyed because of lust. Yavat sattvam yathashrutam nashashaka samadhatum mano madana vepitam. His mind was afflicted by the arrows of Cupid. So mind can trap using any of the anarthas. Mind will say, oh, you should get this for Krishna's service. You work hard to get this. And then in due course of time, Krishna's service is gone and we are absorbed in enjoyment. Oh, you should get this position to serve. Only if with this position you can serve. Try hook or crook. But get on this position so that you can serve Krishna ultimately. But in due course of time, you offend devotees, you don't understand the principle of humility, and then you are gone. So that's how you have to be really careful.
So yeah, on our efforts, when we try to neglect or observe the mind, or maybe alertness to some degree, but some anarthas also conditioning is so strong, it becomes literally helplessness, We try to pray to the Lord also, but it's really helplessness when the mind is not able to, bring back to the subject. So the conditioning is so strong. So in situations where
Approach a devotee.
uh,
Hare Guru Charan Upasana. That is the third thing. Because many times first and second things become difficult. By our own strength, we can't. Our mind drives us crazy. Then we have to take shelter of Guru, Vaishnavas. They'll help us according to our situation. That is what we can do. Otherwise, of course, in 11th canto, it is described, Lord himself says, my God-like power of the mind. Mind is not an easy thing to control. That's why Krishna says in 10th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Indriyana Manaschasmi. Of all the senses, I am the mind, most powerful. Okay. So no one trusts the mind, which has been purified, but it can take away discriminating knowledge. Okay, he continues. We'll recite this. Na kuryat karechit sakhyam
Na kuryat
manasi hi anavasthite
Manasi
yad vishrambha chirachidam
Yadvishvachirachiram
taskanda tapaishwaram
Chaskanda Tapaishwaram
All the learned scholars have given their opinion. The mind is by nature very restless, and one should not make friends with it. If we place full confidence in the mind, it may cheat us at any moment. Even Lord Shiva became agitated upon seeing the Mohini form of Lord Krishna, and Sauri Muni also fell down from the mature stage of yogic perfection.
Prabhupada writes, all the living entities are struggling with the mind and the senses. Prakriti sthani karshati. We're all struggling. To get out of this false struggle and become happy, one has to control the mind and senses. To be detached from material conditions. Acha, to chant properly, we need to control the mind. And by chanting, the mind gets controlled. शुरू कहाँ से करेंगे? समझ गया ना क्वेश्चन? For chanting, we need a controlled mind, and by chanting only we can control the mind. तो शुरू कहाँ से करेंगे?
चैंटिंग से पूछिए, चैंटिंग से.
We will keep on chanting.
Controlling
We'll keep on
senses.
chanting.
Yeah, so whatever mind control we have, begin with that. Begin chanting. If somebody thinks जब तक मेरा मन पूरा कंट्रोल में नहीं आएगा तब तक चैंटिंग नहीं शुरू करूंगा, तो हो गया फिर हरि बोल, and that day will never come. So whatever mind control we have to start practicing. Prabhupada writes, one should never neglect austerities and penances. Always perform them. So we have to perform the austerity of the mind. What Bhagavad Gita Krishna says? What is austerity of the mind? Anyone remembers that verse?
Satisfaction.
Mana prasada saumyatvam. Satisfaction. Mana prasad. Saumyatvam. Simplicity. Satisfied mind. That means if we are really hankering, or chahiye, you can never control the mind. Saumya means simple. If we speak lie, then naturally one gets disturbed. Mana prasada saumyatvam maunam. Gravity. Most problems start when we talk too much. Talk too much means not related to Krishna consciousness. Our speech should be very, very clear, precise, gentle, for the welfare of people. Anybody remembers where we have heard the quality of Lord's speech? When the Lord speaks.
Charu चित्रपदम लक्षणम.
अरे वाह, चलो पहली बार श्लोक बोल रहे हैं कोई तो. ओके, ठीक है, वंडरफुल वंडरफुल. चारू कहाँ पे आता है
ये आप पृथ्वी महाराज की क्वालिटीज ऑफ द स्पीच.
Yes. 7 qualities of his speech. Charu, Chitrapadam, Sakshnam, Rishtam, Gudham, Aviklavam, Sarvesham, Upakaratham. So, Manaprasad, Saumyatvam, Maunam, Atma Vanigraha, sense control, Bhava Samshuddhi, purification of existence. All these things, they are tapasya for the mind. So mind is not so easy to control. So one has to be really careful. Prabhupada writes, Matra sassa duhitra va na viviktasano bhavet Balavan Indriya Gramam Vidvamsam Apicha Karshati. That's how one should be really careful. One should not be overconfident about his mind control. And then Prabhupada writes, yes, in our Krishna consciousness movement, it is difficult to disassociate ourselves from women. Therefore, we are sometimes criticized. Nonetheless, we are trying to give everyone a chance to chant Hare Krishna mantra and advance spiritually. If we stick to the principle of chanting, then by the grace of Srila Haridas Thakur, we may be saved from allurement. Okay, next verse, he continues. He gives another example. Why one should not trust the mind. Mind is like an unchaste wife. Nityam dadati kamasya
Dadati kamasya
chidram tamyanuer areyaha
Chidram
Chidram
Tamyer
yogina krita maitrasya
Yogina
योगिनः कृतमयस्य
patyujaye vapunshali.
पुंसलि.
An unchaste woman is very easily carried away by paramours, and it sometimes happens that her husband is violently killed by her paramours. If a yogi gives his mind a chance and does not restrain it, his mind will give facility to enemies like lust, anger, and greed, and they will doubtlessly kill the yogi.
Chidram tam anuye. Chidram means a small hole. You give a chance, and mind will give all the facility to all the arayaha, all the enemies. Who are our enemies? Lust, anger, greed, pride, envy. All these are the enemies. You give a little bit, it will occupy everything. Therefore, one should never trust the mind. It's like a person, it's like a lady who is unchaste, who has a paramour. She may kill the husband to enjoy with the paramour. So Prabhupada describes about that. Chakravarti Thakur writes. Okay. Prabhupada writes how women is always under protection of somebody. And then Prabhupada writes that one should control the mind by following the process of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He says, beat the mind in the morning and the evening. Subah or Sham ko. Morning 100 shoes. In the evening by 100 sticks. What is this 100 shoe and what is this stick? This Harinam is Cheto Darpana Marjanam. It is cleaning the mind. Morning begin with chanting, evening end with chanting. It is like cleaning the mind by all the contaminations we have gathered throughout the day. Clean it by chanting regularly. That is the formula. Okay. So that's how.
That means, Prabhuji, we should chant before sleeping also.
Possible, if possible. See, these are the injunctions and the details every devotee can figure out according to what all suits them. So it is not an injunction, but it is recommended. That's how. The mind should never be allowed to contemplate. Prabhupada writes, in India, people call Bhanji. What is this Bhanji? Bhanji is not our tradition. Our tradition is Mataji. We should call all other women as Mataji, not Bahanji. Now, Bahanji bolte na sab Bahanji, to regular India mein. Bahanji is not our tradition. It is Mataji. So, all other women are mother. So that's how one should be really careful. It is better to be safe than sorry. That's why Jad Bharat was extra careful. He was, it will come, the story will come in some time, Jad Bharat. Sadhaka, chanting is the way to control the mind. We are not mind controllers. We are in business of remembering Krishna and pleasing Krishna by our endeavors, and Krishna will control the mind. Our way to control the mind is take shelter of Krishna. And then Krishna will control the mind. That is how. We have to just serve the Lord, and Lord will control our mind. Mind is mind will automatically come under the control of the Lord. By remembering Him, by serving Him, by always planning how to serve better. तान् दृष्ट्वा भयसन्त्रस्तान् ऊचे कृष्णस्य भीभयम् मित्राणि आशान् मा विरमते इह आनिश्ये वत्सकानहम्. When Brahmaji took away all the calves and all the cowherd boys, they became fearful. Oh, our calves are gone. They are our sustenance. Krishna says, don't worry. Mitrani ashan ma viramate. Don't fear. Iha anishye. I will bring Vatsakan, our senses. Krishna brings them under his control if we are just absorbed in our seva. So that's how, the more we are absorbed in Krishna's service, then senses can come under the control. Okay, he continues. Mind is the root cause of all the 6 enemies. Kamo manyo mado lobho.
Kamo manyor mado loko.
Mado
Shoka
loka.
moha bhayadayaha.
Shoka moha
Karma
bhayadaya.
bandhascha yanmula.
Karma bandhana mula.
Vikuryat kon tadbudaha.
Vikuryato tadbuddhaha.
The mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. Combined, these constitute bondage to fruitive activities. What learned man would pay faith in the mind?
Karma bandhaya chayanmula. This mind is the root cause of all these anarthas. And they create karma. So therefore, one should not put trust in the mind. So again and again, Shukadeva Goswami is describing why Rishabdev didn't accept the mystic siddhis, because nobody should trust the mind. Mind is the greatest enemy. Mind should be controlled. Mind is the cause of bondage. So we should know how the mind works. Then only we can handle the mind. Otherwise, it is not so easy to control the mind. Mind is really powerful. Easiest way to control the mind is neglect it. Of course, it's not so easy. अच्छा, आप लोगों का एक्सपीरियंस हुआ रहेगा, आप लोगों ने देखा रहेगा, एक छोटा बच्चा है, he is running and he falls down. सबसे पहले उठ के क्या करता है वो?
कोई देख रहा है कि नहीं?
आजू बाजू
हाँ, उठ के देखता है, किसने देखा. As soon as he sees somebody is seeing, he starts crying. No, that's how our mind is. As soon as he sees that somebody is noticing whatever I am saying, he becomes more active. You neglect it, शांत हो जाएगा वो. All he will not cry too much. रोएगा थोड़ा, वो तो कोई देख ही नहीं रहा है, ठीक है, अभी क्या फायदा है. So our mind is like that child, naughty child. We should understand how the mind works. So we should be very expert in analyzing the movements of the mind. Whenever the mind goes, okay, this is my mind, this is not me. The mind starts speaking in the second person first. All of us have experienced, you are walking by and then you see a billboard of some new car or new mobile or new dress or some new jewelry. Mind whispers, "Acha hai. Very nice. You like it. You will definitely look good. It is for you." Mind starts speaking, second person. And they put a billboard every 10 meters. Why every 10 meters? Because they know how the mind works. पहला बार बोलेगा mind, तो हम बोलेंगे नहीं मेरे पास तो है मोबाइल. I already have this necklace or a jewelry or this mobile or this dress. After 10 meters, अरे अच्छा लग रहा है. Take it. नहीं क्या जरूरत है, it is so expensive. After again 10 meters, अरे it is good for you. And your friends will like it. You will be able to impress them. सच में क्या? Then you buy the idea. And then the fourth billboard, you say, now I like it, I want it. Now from the second person, mind has changed to first person. First, mind was saying you like it. Now the mind says, I like it. So before the mind goes from second person to first person, we should catch it. नहीं तो 2.62 63 शुरू हो जाता है फिर. ध्यायतो विषयान पुंसा संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात संजायते कामा, चल वो शुरू हो जाता है. So that's how we have to be really careful how our mind works. Mind is like that ventriloquist. You know, ventriloquist, a person with a toy in his hand, and the person is speaking, and it seems that toy is speaking. In the beginning, the person thinks that, okay, ठीक है, ये मेरा मन बोल रहा है. But the mind voice is so similar to your voice that ये तो मैं ही हूँ, it is my voice, I want it. So that's how we have to be really careful. Okay, so now after describing all this, now Shukdev Goswami comes to the original topic. Because in between, Parikshit Maharaj asked the question, why he didn't accept the mystic powers. So 5 verses he described why. Now Shukdev Goswami comes to the original topic. He continues, what happened to Rishabdev? Yes, translation.
Lord Rishabdev was the head of all kings and emperor within this universe. But assuming the dress and the language of an avaduta, he acted as if dull and materially bound. Consequently, no one could observe his divine opulence. He adopted this behavior just to teach yogis how to give up the body. Nonetheless, he maintained his original position as a plenary expansion of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna. Remaining always in that state, he gave up his pastimes as Lord Rishabdev within the material world. If following in the footsteps of Lord Rishabdev, one can give up his subtle body, there is no chance that one will accept a material body again.
So teach the yogis how to give up the body. He assumed this dress of Avadhut, language of Avadhut, activities of Avadhut. It was to teach, although he's a Supreme Lord himself. Lord is always transcendental to whatever he does. He is Divya. His Janma and Karma are Divya. Next verse, translation.
Actually, Lord Rishabdeva had no material body, but due to Yogamaya, he considered his body material, and therefore, because he played like an ordinary human being, he gave up the mentality of identifying with it. Following this principle, he began to wander all over the world. While traveling, he came to the province of Karnataka in South India and passed through Konka, Venka, Kutaka. He had no plan to travel this way, but when he arrived near Kutakachala and entered a forest there, he placed stones within his mouth and began to wander through the forest, naked and with his hair disheveled like a madman.
Next.
While he was wandering about, a wild forest fire began. This fire was caused by the friction of bamboos, which were being blown by the wind. In that fire, the entire forest near Kutakachala and the body of Lord Rishabhadev were burned to ashes.
So although Rishabdev, he burnt apparently his body was burnt, but what happened was, Chakravarti Thakur writes, the fire burnt up the forest along with Rishabdev. Fire burnt up the gross bodies of trees and animals in that forest, and Rishabdev burnt up their subtle bodies. Fire burnt the gross bodies. By the presence of Rishabdev, these animals and the trees, they burnt their subtle body also. They all attained liberation. So that is the power of Supreme Lord. He is not burnt. He gives liberation. Okay, next verse.
Sukhdev Goswami
Hare
continued
Krishna.
to speaking to Maharaj Parikshit, my dear king, the king of the king of the king of Konka, Venka, and Puttaka, whose name was Arhat, heard 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 of the activities of Rishabdev and imitating Rishabdev's principles, introduced a new system of religion, taking advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful activity. King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles, which are free from risk, and concocted a new system of religion opposed to the Vedas. That was the beginning of the Jain Dharma. Many other so-called religions followed this atheistic system.
Okay, so the Lord, he gave up his body in such a way, but we should never think that Lord died. Parikshit Maharaj was surprised when Krishna left this world by being shot by an arrow of Jara. And you're surprised. How is this possible? How can somebody say that Lord died? So there, Shukdev Goswami speaks a very beautiful verse. It is one of the last verses in 11th canto. Martyena yo guru sutam yamalokaneetam tvam chanayan sharanadah paramastra dagdham jigyentakantakamapi shavasavanishyam kim swavane swaranayan mrigayum sadeham. He says, "O Parikshit, how can somebody think that Lord died? He brought the dead son of his guru back from Yamloka. Martyena yo guru sutam. In the human body, he went to Yamloka and brought the dead son of Sandipani Muni. Tvam chanayan. Are, he brought you back to life. You are dead. Paramastra dagdha. You are burnt by Ashwathama's Brahmastra. Jigye antaka antaka. Lord Shiva is antak antaka. And Lord Krishna won over Lord Shiva in the battle with Banasur. And the person who shot an arrow, Jara, what was the destination of Jara? He sent Jara to spiritual world. So how can somebody say that Krishna died? Therefore, all these things are just the pastimes to bewilder people who don't want to have faith in Krishna. So that's how it is. Passing away of the Lord, passing of the devotees of the Lord, they're always mysterious. Just like we hear the story of Andal entering the body of Ranganath, Mahaprabhu entering the knee of Tota Gopinath, Narottam Das Thakur, his body melting in Padmavati river as milk. So all these things are very bewildering. So we should never think that, oh, Lord died. How is it possible? So now after the story of Rishabdev, Shukdev Goswami gives some more details. This Arahata, which people call as Arihanta. So he started imitating the activities of Rishabdev. So self-realized souls, they exhibit vairagya to avoid popularity. Just like Rishabdev, he exhibited all these things so that he is not troubled. But there are cheap materialistic people also. They exhibit vairagya to gain popularity. Because vairagya is also an opulence. It is one of the opulences of the Lord. So just like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was so upset with the people, he would sit in the toilet and chant. Because people would come and trouble him, oh Babaji, Ashirwad dijiye. So he was so detached. He had some very, very weird types of habits. He would take the clothes from the dead bodies and wear them so that people would think that he is a haunted person. So that's why we call him Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye. Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye. One time person, he sponsored Rasgullas. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji fed all the Rasgullas to animals. Another time he said, tomorrow is Gaur Purnima. We will celebrate Gaur Purnima. So some devotees bole, pehli baar Gaur Kishoredas Babaji is saying celebration. So how we will celebrate? Gaur Kishoredas Babaji said, we will start our day by chanting. And then we'll hear the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. After that, what we'll do, Babaji? After that, we'll chant more. And then we'll do kirtan. And then we'll fast whole day. So people were thinking, ye beech mein feast aana chahiye end mein kahin to. So that's how it is, you know. So such type of deviation from, you know, highest standards of Vairagya, some people may start imitating. So Rishabhdev, he exhibited such highest level of Vairagya, but some deviation. After Goswamis, Narottam Das, Srinivas, Shyamananda Pandit, they did lots of preaching. They were establishing the principles. But then after them, actually there were no preachers. Our preaching was gone after Shyamananda Pandit, Shyamanand Prabhu, Srinivas, and Narottam Das Thakur. Then mostly people were Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bhajananandis. They would wear white. And Swarup Damodar Goswami, he didn't accept any externals of sannyas. He was also wearing white. He didn't accept saffron. He didn't accept that Brahman thread also. They were absorbed in bhajan. So some people were like this. They were absorbed in bhajan. So because they were not preaching, the actual philosophy was lost. That's how deviation starts. When we don't preach, the philosophy will be lost and the deviation will start. So it is our responsibility to preach, to maintain. The knowledge is preserved by preaching, by spreading. If we don't preach, then the knowledge will be lost. Knowledge, if you want to preserve knowledge, we don't have to store it. We have to, distribute it. It looks contradictory, but that's how Vidya grows. When we spread Vidya, knowledge, it grows. That deviation was so strong. We have heard this Jalera Phal. People would have fish in one hand and bead bag in other hand, and they would say, this is Jalera Phal. We went, I think last year to Mayapur, and one of the devotees, he was telling some other phrase like this. What these Sahjiyas, they would say. Khao masera jhol, soyo ramani kol, mukhe bol hari bol. That means you eat masera jhol, you eat fish, you can enjoy with all the women, but you just say hari bol, hari bol. That was a deviation. So that's how Vaishnavism lost its respect. And then many years passed by, decades, centuries passed by. Then Baladev Vidyabhushan and then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur came. They did something. Then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati came. He increased the respectability of Vaishnavism by writing books, by preaching, by establishing Gaudiya Math. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was so popular. He was a very respected personality, even in the outside world, because people would say these Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they are good for nothing. Because no respect in public, no respect in society. Bhaktivinoda Thakur came, he wrote books, he opened Nam Hatta centers, he wrote more than 100 books, so many bhajans. Then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared, ray of Vishnu. He started spreading. So that's how this deviation happens in all the traditions. And that's how this deviation happened here also. Okay. Prabhupada writes, Chakravarti Thakur writes, the Jiva of Kali Yuga, looking in the external world, will get benefit by hearing and chanting the pastimes of Rishabdev, but not by imitating his behavior. The activities of Rishabdev should not be imitated, because jivas in Kali Yuga are incapable of looking inward. They'll become fallen by becoming fixed in Rishabdev's external conduct. I will also display this Vairagya externally. No, it is not possible. Person called Arhat will be born in future. He thought he will become similar to Rishabdev by imitating his activities. Okay. Some more things about this other religion which Arhat started. Translation.
Hare Krishna. People who are lowest among the men and defeated by the illusionary energy of the Supreme Lord will give up the original Varnashram Dharma and its rules and regulations. They will abandon bathing 3 times daily and worshipping the Lord, abandoning cleanliness and neglecting the Supreme Lord. They will accept nonsensical principles, not regularly bathing or washing their mouths regularly. They will always remain unclean, and they will pluck out their hair. Following a concocted religion, they will flourish. During this age of Kali, people are more inclined to irreligious systems. Consequently, these people will naturally derive Vedic authority, the followers of Vedic authority, the Brahmins, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the devotees. Hare Krishna.
So all these are very strong things written about Jainism. So we should be very careful not to speak these things. These are for our understanding. Because if we speak these things in public, then it will create dissension. It is for our understanding, how to understand these principles. So the followers of this system, they'll abandon 4 things. They'll abandon Varnashram Dharma. They'll not do bathing, achman. They'll not worship the Lord. They'll not maintain cleanliness. Then they will accept some concocted religion, plucking out hairs. It is concocted religion, deriding the Vedas. And they'll follow the disciplic succession of the blind. Andha paramparaya, very strong words. It is andha paramparaya. Now we aata hai again the word. Somewhere the word is there, andha paramparaya. So that's how they'll follow and they'll fall down. So in these temples, you'll find photos of Shiva and Brahma also, but they have their own concocted philosophy. They have some weird philosophy, pull out hair, cover mouth to avoid killing germs. Our scriptures say that we can't avoid killing germs. We can't avoid 5 types of sins. We light fire, that means some insects are killed. When we grind, some insects are killed. When you inhale or exhale, some are killed. Walk, so they cover the mouth. What about walking? By walking also you are killing. So this can't be avoided. So that's how all these are concocted types of religions. Why it is called irreligion? Very strongly, Shukdev Goswami says this irreligion. Following a concocted religion, they'll flourish. During this age, people are more inclined to irreligious systems. What is so irreligious about this system? Because they focus on small things like cleanliness, avoiding killing germs, not cleanliness, avoiding killing germs. But they don't focus on worshipping the Lord. That is the most important problem. They are overly doing some things which are not emphasized in scriptures. Plucking out hair, covering the mouth. They are overly emphasizing some principles. Just like it is before walking, while as somebody is walking, they'll broom the floor, they broom the road. Is it practical to do all these things? They are overdoing, some injunctions. So that's how, because of all these things, this is called as irreligious system. And on the other hand, what they say, oh, Krishna is promoting himsa. Oh, Krishna allowed, he pushed Arjun to kill. He killed Arjuna. He told Arjun, he killed Karna by wrong means. He told Arjun to kill him. That's why now he is in hell. And that's what they say. Jainisms, they say that like that. Because Krishna, he made Arjuna kill crores of soldiers on the battlefield. He's in hell now. Bhagavatam says completely different. Tathaiva chanye naraloka veera yada have Krishna mukara vindam netre pibanto nayanadiramam parthasraputa gata padamahapurasya. Anybody who was killed on the battlefield, seeing the face of Krishna, they got delivered. Krishna is hatari gatadayaka. He gives liberation to whoever is killed by him. And then they say, because Krishna is upholding dharma also, therefore he'll become the next Tirthankar. That's what they say. So therefore they don't follow the Vedas, they don't follow the Acharyas. Yasastra vidim utsrijya vartate kamakarata nasa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na paramgatim. Krishna clearly says in Bhagavad Gita, if anybody gives up the injunctions of scriptures, vartate kamakarata, if somebody just concocts his own religion, nasa siddhim avapnoti, they don't achieve success. But we see that Jains, they are very good materially, they are rich people. Because when Brahmanas became unruly, Brahmanas in the beginning of the Kali Yuga, when they started getting deviated, Kshatriyas became Buddhists and Vaishyas became Jains. And they have this psychophysical nature, Swabhav of Vaishya. So that's how they know how to trade. So we see, they are very, very rich because all the Vaishyas, they have taken to this Jainism, many Vaishyas. And the Vaishyas were told that you give a major part of your earning to God. So they also do it. They are very good in charity. So they are because they are coming from Vedic culture, they have some background of the Vedas, but they have concocted also some things. So that is the story. Okay, next verse, translation.
Low-class people, due to their gross ignorance, introduce a system of religion that deviates from the Vedic principles. Following their own mental concoctions, they automatically fall down into the darkest region of existence.
Tanaham dushita kruran sansareshu naradhaman shipami ajasram ashubhan ashurisveva yonishu. Prabhupada quotes this, 16.16 and 23. Next.
In this age of Kali, people are overwhelmed by the moods of the passion and ignorance. Lord Rishabhadeva incarnated himself to deliver them from the clutches of Maya.
Okay, so that's how Lord incarnated. Prabhupada in the purport describes Kali Yuga means here is the example of beauty. Here is a symbol of beauty. आजकल कैसा कैसा hairstyle रखते हैं. मतलब I have a video, एक वीडियो दिखाऊं क्या आपको अच्छा सा. ऐसा फनी हेयर स्टाइल लोग कैसा कैसा रखते हैं. एंड में याद दिलाएं, एंड में दिखाऊंगा. अगर रिमाइंड करेंगे तो दिखा दूंगा. लावण्यम केश धारणम. Prabhupada writes that लावण्यम केश धारणम. Okay. They'll keep their hair long and consider themselves beautiful, or they'll pluck out their hair, as the Jains do. They'll keep themselves unclean and will not wash their mouth. Jains refer to Rishabdev as their original preceptor. If such people are serious followers of Rishabdev, they must also take his instructions. Follow, worship the Supreme Lord, but they don't do it. So after describing all these wonderful things, in next few verses, Shukdev Goswami glorifies the activities of Rishabdev again. So I will recite this. Aho bhuva sapta samudravatya द्वीपेषु वर्षेषु अधिपुण्यमेतत् गायन्ति यत्रत्य जना मुरारे कर्माणि भद्राणि अवतारवन्ति.
Learned scholars chant about the transcendental qualities of Lord Rishabdev in this way. Oh, this earthly planet contains 7 seas and many islands and lands, of which Bharatvarsha is considered the most pious. People of Bharatvarsha are accustomed to glorifying the activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Lord Rishabdev and others. All these activities are very auspicious for the welfare of humanity.
Okay. So Bharatvarsha is glorified. Prabhupada writes about Bharatvarsha. And then Prabhupada writes about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The highest benefit is by chanting. Aho nuvamsho yashashavadata praya vrato yatra puman purana kritavatara purusha sadhya shashara dharmam yat akarma hetum.
Oh, what shall I say of the dynasty of Priyavrata, which is pure and very much celebrated. In that dynasty, the Supreme Person, the original personality of Godhead, descended as an incarnation and executed religious principles that could free one from the results of repetitive activity.
Konmasya kashtam aparonugacchen manorathenaapyadhavasya abhavasya yogi yo yoga maya sprihayantya udasta hiya sattaya yena krita prayatna. Translation.
Who is that mystic yogi who can follow the examples of the Lord Rishabdeva even with his mind? Lord Rishabdeva rejected all kinds of the yogic perfection which other yogis hanker to attain. Who is that yogi who can compare to the Lord Rishabdeva?
So Rishabdev, what he did, it is impossible for any ordinary yogi to do. We cannot even think of all these things. At least we can begin by avoiding excess sense gratification. Begin by becoming more attentive to chanting, hearing, reading. That is in our hand. Our tapasya is hearing, chanting only. That is our tapasya. उतना ही कर लें तो वही तपस्या हमारी. All this अलग से तपस्या is very difficult. हमारे लिए एक निर्जल ही भारी पड़ जाता है. निर्जल में ये बोलते हैं 4 दिन पहले से पानी पीना शुरू करो भाई, अभी निर्जल आ रही है. तो मतलब all these things are far off. So after describing all this, then he gives the Falashruti in 16th verse. Translation.
Sukdev Goswami continued, Lord Rishabdev is the master of all Vedic knowledge. Human beings, demigods, cows and brahmanas. I have already explained his pure transcendental activities which will vanquish the sinful activities of all living entities. This narration of Lord Rishabdev's pastime is the reservoir of all auspicious things. Whoever attentively hears or speaks of them, following in the footsteps of the Acharya, will certainly attain unalloyed devotional service at the lotus feet of the Lord Vasudeva. That's the Supreme Personality of God.
So 3 benefits. Anybody who hears and describes what he'll achieve. First is vanquish all the sinful activities. That is the first thing. That is samast dushcharita abhiharanam. All the sinful activities are vanquished. That is the first. Second, param mahamangalayanam. It is all auspicious. It creates auspiciousness. And third, Vasudeve ekantato bhakti. It gives unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So this is the Falashruti. Prabhupada writes, the teachings of Rishabdev are for people of all ages. These are so powerful that even in this age of Kali, one can attain perfection by following the instructions. If one does so, one attains the platform of pure devotional service, as mentioned in Bhagavatam. Regularly hear, chant the names of the Lord. Prabhupada mentions that. Okay. Next verse, translation.
Devotees always bathe themselves in devotional service in order to be relieved from the various tribulations of material existence. By doing this, the devotees enjoy supreme bliss, and liberation personified comes to serve them. Nonetheless, they do not accept that service even if it is offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. For the devotees, liberation, mukti, is very unimportant because having attained the Lord's transcendental loving service, they have attained everything desirable and have transcended all material desires.
Okay, so the devotees, they are not interested in liberation. They are interested in seva. Just by being servants of the Lord, they have attained everything desirable. Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, Ekatma, Apyuta, Diyamanam, Nagrananti, Vinamat Sevanam Jana. Seva is not there, I don't want liberation. Mukti is standing at the doorstep with folded hands. Mukti Swayam Mukulita Anjali Sevyate. After hearing, all this, what happens? Because next verse is suddenly a different verse. Next verse, just a minute. I'll just change my mobile data. Just 1 minute. So now, after hearing all these wonderful things, Parikshit Maharaj, he starts thinking something. He's thinking, wow, Lord is so wonderful. Priyavara's dynasty is so great. Rishabdev appeared in his dynasty. Then Uttanpad's dynasty is so great. Prithu Maharaj appeared in his dynasty. Kapiladev appeared in his dynasty. Raghu dynasty is so great. Lord Ramchandra appeared in his dynasty. Yadu Vamsha is so great. Krishna appeared in his dynasty. And mere dynasty mein to Bhagwan aa hi nahi rahe. So as Parikshit Maharaj is thinking like this, Shukdev Goswami reminds him, oh Parikshit, you know your fortune. Sometimes we have to, this is a very wonderful way. ऐसा परीक्षित महाराज के साथ भी होता है कि यार मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ भक्ति. I am good for nothing. Such type of feelings of not worth it, what I am doing, I am not doing sufficient devotional service. क्या चल रहा है मेरे जीवन का उद्देश्य? What is the use of my bhakti? I am not even able to control my senses. So we have to sometimes remind ourselves, भाई क्या मिल गया है आपको? Please understand what you have achieved so far. So Shukdev Goswami is very nicely pacifying Parikshit Maharaj here in a beautiful verse. We'll recite this. Rajan patir guru ralam bhavatam yaduna.
Rajan Pati Guru Raham
Devam priya purapati yachvachaking karova. Asteva manga bhagavan bhajatam mukundo. Muktim dadati karechit smana bhakti yogam.
Sukdev Goswami continued, my dear king, the Supreme Person Mukunda is actually the maintainer of all the members of the Pandava and Yadu dynasties. He is your spiritual master, worshipable deity, friend, and the director of your activities. To say nothing of this, he sometimes serves your family as a messenger or servant. This means he works just as ordinary servants do. Those engaged in getting the Lord's favor attain liberation from the Lord very easily. But he does not very easily give the opportunity to render direct service unto him.
He says, Parikshit, you understand your glory, your fortune. Our Lord is personally there in your family. He is becoming your everything. He is becoming your Daiva, Kulpati, Priya, Kinkar. सब कर रहे हैं आपके लिए. He is becoming your servant also. And you are saying you are not fortunate. Krishna, he gives everything, but he doesn't give mukti so easily. Bhukti dadati kare, mukti dadati. He gives mukti also. Bhakti nahi denge. And he gave you bhakti. Because Lord was more affectionate to Pandavas than Yadus also. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, our dynasty is unfortunate. Parikshit is thinking, this Puru dynasty is unfortunate. Yadu dynasty is glorious. Raghu dynasty is glorious. Puru dynasty, not glorious. Lord, I nahi yahan pe. So Shukdev Goswami, he gave him bliss by showing the superiority of bhakti over liberation. O king, Bhavatam. Bhavatam is a very respectable address. Aapke kul mein, it's very respectable. Krishna is the protector of Pandavas and Yadus. He is your instructor. He has shown affection. He is a leader. Though Krishna appeared in the Yadu dynasty, but he acted equally towards you and Yadus. Perhaps he became your messenger. He did not do this for Yadus. So you are more fortunate. You are favored by the Lord more. He did more for you than the Yadus because his love is greater for you. He gave highest prema to you, who did not worship him in his highest position. Who did not worship? So he does not even give bhav bhakti to those who worship him. Arey, bhav bhakti is not so easy. He gave you bhakti, O Parikshit. Krishna yadi chute bhakte bhukti mukti diya. Kabhu Krishna prem na den rakhe na lukaya. Kabhu Krishna prem na den. Krishna, he never gives devotion so easily. He gives bhukti, he gives mukti. He gives sense gratification. Mukti nahi dete hain itni jaldi. Why he doesn't give mukti so easily? Because he's controlled by his pure devotees. Bhakti nahi dete hain because he gets controlled by his devotees. Evam sandarshita yanga harina bhritya vashyata. So therefore, Krishna is your bhritya. He is controlled by you. Saratya parashada sevana sakya dautya Veerasananugavana stavana pranaman Snigdeshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha Vishnu Bhaktim karoti nipatis charanaravinde. Bhaktim karoti, because all of you Pandavas, you are such great devotees. So Krishna is doing everything for Pandavas. So that's how Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami is glorifying. He says, Shukdev Goswami says, actually, Yadus, they did not realize the glorious position of Krishna. And the same thing was spoken by Uddhavaji. Harim Meena Ivodupam. What is that verse where he says that यदवो नितरामपि ये संवसन्तो न विदु हरि मीना योडुकम दुर्भगो बत लोकोयम यदवो नितरामपि. So Yadavas, they are more unfortunate. They didn't realize the position of Yadu, of Krishna. It is just like hippies. They were more fortunate than the family members of Prabhupada. Why? Because they didn't understand the glory of Prabhupada. Hippies, although they were born and brought up in such families, but still, they were more fortunate in that sense. Because they understood the glories of Prabhupada. They gave everything. So that's how it is. Actually, the same thing happened with Yudhishthira also. Anyone remembers where this happened? Yudhishthira also, bichare, he gets into this thought, Are, kya, I am not so fortunate. Matlab, it is not bad if some devotee thinks, kya, I am not a great devotee. It happens with Yudhishthira also. It happens with Parikshit also. We have to remind ourselves. Wow, what type of great bhakti you are practicing? Bhakti is not an ordinary thing. After Narad Muni tells about Narasimhadev in 7th canto, the entire story of Narasimhadev is over. After hearing everything, you know what Parikshit Maharaj Yudhishthira is thinking? What is this? For one devotee, one Lord appeared avatar. मेरे लिए कौन आ रहा है? Nobody is coming for me. यूयं निलोके बत भूरि भागा लोकं पुनाना मुनयो भियन्ति येषां गृहाणा वसतीति साक्षात् गूढं परं ब्रह्म मानुष्यलिङ्गम्. Oh Yudhishthir, you are the most fortunate in the entire human dynasty. Naraloka, but Bhuri, you are most fortunate because the greatest of the sages can't have darshan of the Lord, stow also, and he is staying in your home, doing everything for you. So that's how it is. Okay. I think one of the last verses. Yeah. So in this, Shukdev Goswami offers obeisances to Rishabdev. Nityanabhuta Nijalabha Nivritta Trishna Shreyasya Tadrachanaya Chirasupta Buddhe Lokasya Karunaya Bhayamatma Lokam Akhya Namo Bhagavate Rishabhaya Tasmai.
The
Translation.
Supreme Personality of the Godhead, the Lord Rishabhadeva, was fully aware of his true identity. Therefore, he was self-sufficient and he did not desire external gratification. There was no need for him to aspire for success since he is complete in himself. Those who unnecessarily engage in bodily conceptions and create an atmosphere of materialism are always ignorant of their real self-interest. Out of his causeless mercy, the Lord Rishabhadeva taught the self-real identity and the goal of life. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who appeared as the Lord Rishabhadeva.
Okay, so that's how Shukdev Goswami ends this wonderful discussion of Rishabdev with this verse. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Shri Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Test, right?
Prabhuji, are you showing video?
Yeah.
अरे हाँ वीडियो
वीडियो दिखाने वाले थे
वीडियो दिखाता हूँ. Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'll put the question paper on the group.
Vaishnava